Hello, everybody. All right. So today is Sunday, uh, November 24th. Here in the States, we're, of course, just about 4 days away from Thanksgiving. I know, Rick, you all had your Thanksgiving like a month ago. So,
Yeah,
uh,
over a month ago now, I think. It was
well, isn't it usually
October.
It's like early October, right? Usually,
I
like
think it's about mid-October. I think I'm not sure whether it's the second or third um, weekend in October,
hmm.
but yeah, it's in October for sure. So
All right. So, anyway, uh, programming note for just in case those of you missed it on Friday. This week we're only going to be doing shows up through Wednesday. Of course, as I've done since I started, usually we'll take Thanksgiving weekend pretty much off. We'll be back here on Sunday, of course, with RJ for the next edition of the of the historical comic retrospect.
and
But
you're going
this
over
week,
Ace. Are you going over Ace Comics that weekend? Ace magazines.
yeah, Ace Magazines. That's the name of the
Okay,
company.
I started downloading some of the ma- images for that.
Oh,
Uh,
so I have a unique thumbnail for
yeah,
it. All right. Just remember to format it right to where I don't have that
yeah, it's
headache.
gonna be under the two megs.
All right.
That's easy enough to do.
Anyway, well, before we do talk about and get into what we're going to be, specifically what we're going to be going over tonight. Rick, would you like to, do an intro, maybe promote anything you're doing? I think you know the shtick, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I am doing a fair amount actually. Um, I'm not sure what you probably noticed. I'm up to I think back up to 4 or 5 shows a week. Um,
Yeah. Well, I know you've been going on more and more, doing more like drawing streams.
yeah. So I'm gonna promote for my one for next week, Monday, tomorrow morning. Um, trying to get the link for it. Look at get shareable link. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I'm Monday mornings and 9 a.m. Eastern. Eastern. I'm trying to do a show where I draw, well, up a lesser known Bible story. Right now it's a guy named Shamgar. I'm just trying to get all the things done, because I'm doing comic book formation and, 3 or 4 pages or whatever it takes, whatever number of pages. So,
Mhm.
yeah,
Have,
so.
have you ever thought about maybe doing like some kind of comic style illustrated Bible, maybe?
Not really. I probably could, maybe. Um, like I up until this point, I've really steered away from doing the biblical stories, and
Hmm.
it's more because, I've always said the Bible stories are everybody's done them rehashed, but the ones I'm doing, I don't think anybody's ever done them. So,
Hmm.
you know, and that
Well, I'm
that's
not, I'm not saying rewrite the Bible or anything. I'm just saying,
yeah,
just put
yeah.
it in like an illustrated format to,
Oh
like something
yeah,
that's more kid friendly or something, something that, because
oh
I know
yeah.
they do make. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's I know what you're talking about, and that lots of people have done that, and uh, you know, and that's great. But I'm just, like I said, I'm doing some stuff that I don't think anybody's ever done before. Stories like I said, well, there's 3 in this Judges chapter 3 that I'm starting from.
Mhm.
Othniel, Ehud, and Shamgar. Shamgar is one verse, and I'm making it into like 7 pages. It just literally says after he had King Shamgar, the son of Anath. He killed 600 Philistines. He too did save Israel. That's his verse. 7-page comic out of it.
For those of you who either are watching now or may may see this later, here's the link if you guys want to go check out Rick's channel and go check out what he's doing.
That's from the last Monday when I was doing it. I'm going to be doing it. I didn't do it last Monday morning because I had to wait till the evening. There was some stuff going on around here that I couldn't, but I'm going to be doing it next.
Yeah, I know. I think I came in on that last week.
Yeah, and because I know I did it about the same time as your show. It was just normally not going to be doing that, but it was just the only time I had it.
All right. Anything more you want to promote or anything like that?
Not at this time. I might promote a different one of my programs later on when ending.
All right. So, YouTube and StreamYard are being a little selfish here on the view count here, telling me it's only got one viewer.
Which is probably me because I have it open in a different tab.
Sometimes if I do like these comments right here, it will usually pick it back up.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, with that being said, of course, so let's talk about what's on tap for tonight. So tonight we're taking a trip back to April of 1940. We're going to be venturing into what would eventually become the Harvey Comics universe, known at this point as Broomwood Publications and Worth Carnahan. We're going to be looking at Speed Comics Volume 1, Issue 9, and Champion Comics Volume 1, Issue 8. Among the features we'll be looking at include Shock Gibson, Ted Parrish, Neptina, Liberty Lads, and Lobo the Flying Sleuth. Now, of course, one of the things I found out when I was previewing this stuff earlier this week, this is actually the last Lobo story that was published. So that's part of the reason why I picked it this week. So
Lobo. Nothing to do with DC's Lobo, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see when we get there. So with that being said, let me pull that up, and then I guess we can get started on reading it and all that. So we're going to start with, of course, Speed Comics Volume 1, Issue 9 first here. Every story complete. There it is. Shock Gibson, the Human Dynamo. Speed Comics, number 9, June 10. Of course, June is the cover date, but we usually do things via the on sale date. You can make your own records if you sing or play an instrument. Make your own records at home. Look at this. Look at these, huh? All right.
Cool.
All right, so Shock Gibson. Charles Gibson. Oh, and as always, if anything at any point grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. We'll try to answer the question best of our ability. So, Charles Gibson was at work when his laboratory was struck by lightning. Some chemical and electrical reaction caused a mysterious change. Instead of killing the youth, It made him all powerful, endowed with almost unbelievable strength and energy. The youth dedicated his powers for the service of humanity. He adopted a distinctive costume, a name, Shock Gibson, vowing to work always in the interest of fair play. Now, of course, there's a couple, there's a couple of DC influences right there. If you notice that, one
Yeah.
that actually happened around this time, or around was happening around this time. The other was actually kind of a little further down the line. The
Yeah,
whole
his powers
go ahead.
his powers seem Superman-esque, except for the energy part, unbelievable strength. But his costume ends up looking a little bit like the Flash, also a little bit like one of Archie's superheroes. Um, but then, of course, the chemical reaction and all that, the
That's more of
lightning.
an illusion. That's more of an illusion to Flash's origin, right there.
Yeah, well, and of course that is um, Silver Age Flash, not Golden Age Flash.
Well, I think in the Golden Age Flash, that was more of a hard water vapor, I believe, is what gave him his powers.
Yeah,
The fair play part came with Mr. Terrific, the original Mr.
yeah,
Terrific, Barry Sloan. He was the one who always fought for fair play. So
yeah. But
anyway,
I think the original Mister Terrific was from a different universe. I think that's
well, no,
more.
he was from DC. He was from DC. Terry
Yeah,
Sloan
but
was from.
I thought they acquired him from a different company.
Not that I had heard. As
Oh,
far as I
okay.
know, he was one of the three main heroes in Sensation Comics. I think he was like might call him the third main feature after Wonder Woman and Wildcat.
Oh, okay.
We'll see that much later.
Yeah.
Anyways, Shock Gibson, the human dynamo, near Hollywood, California, an airplane factory. Hums with activity. A new type of flying fortress is being built. So you want to do the first guy right there?
Yeah. This is a great plane.
The best in the world. Foreign spies with millions to spend plot in secret. We must destroy that plane factory.
Hotel, comrade Rasky. How?
Comrade Ratsky, head of the spy ring. Easy, we'll start a fake movie company, stage a movie battle near the factory.
I get you. And then the fire real shells instead of blanks.
Yeah, we'll use tanks too, and armored cars to escape, and it's a cinch. The newspapers feature the new plane. Shock Gibson gets a hunch. G-men in California. G-men are fine, but I think I'll go to California. Comrade Ratsky, director of operations. Haul up those howitzers. A battlefield is prepared.
Did you? I think you missed the panel up.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh. The spies set up their fake movie company near the factory. A battlefield is prepared.
Get that barbed wire up. Make it snappy.
Other spies get into uniforms.
Want me to do one of these
Yeah,
guys? Or
do the first guy, and then I'll do the second guy.
Ratsky's got a surefire plan.
You said it. We'll smash things up.
But how about the cops and the U.S. Army?
The guns will take care of the cops, and before the army comes, we'll be finished and scattered. Meanwhile, Shock arrives in Hollywood. Well, it's quite a place. Can I have your autograph, mister? Well, certainly. Oh, thank you. I just know you're famous. She knows he's famous, but yet she doesn't seem to know his name.
Yeah, like everybody's famous in Hollywood, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, Shaw Gibson. Okay. Oh, Shaw Gibson. That's the best I've ever got. Shock speeds to the airplane factory. And now for business. He approaches the fake movie company. What goes on here?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry.
It's Rescue Productions filming The Great War.
At that moment,
Camera! Action! Start firing!
have you got the range of the factory?
Yes, and there's still a real shell in the gun.
Then fire and goodbye plane factory. The shell lands on the factory roof. What happened?
Is it a war?
Comrade Ratsky's delighted. A direct hit. That's fine. Shoot some more. Boom! Why, they're using real shells. I must act fast. Shock crashes through the heavy gate. You can't come in here. That's what you think. The watchman picks up a Tommy gun. I'll rub you out. But Shock grabs the muzzle. You'll do no rubbing. And twist it. He breaks through the barbed wire as if it were string. This stuff is a nuisance. And I paid $300 for that gun. Shock speeds over the battlefield. I'll put a stop to this, whatever it is.
Seems he does have a little bit of flash of powers too with that speed.
Well, I mean, a boost of adrenaline or a sudden shock to the system. I'm sure that would give anybody enhanced powers. Yeah. Even if momentarily, right?
Yeah.
Comrade Ratke is alarmed. Stop! Stop! That man! Shoot him! Kill him! A machine gun opens fire from a pillbox, but Shock's electrical field of force deflects the bullets. He dashes at the pillbox. Rat-a-tat! Tap, tap, tap! And with one blow of his fist, shatters the concrete. Two gunners are revealed. What happened?
He smashed the pillbox.
They run in terror. He's a
He's
giant! Oh, go ahead.
He's a giant! Run!
Shock smashes the machine gun. Too many of these in the world. A howitzer is aimed at Shock. Point blank. Right. Oh, you want to do that one? Okay, go for it.
Oh, yeah, I can. Point blank range. And fire!
Boom! A shell lands at Shock's feet. It explodes.
That was a bit shocking for him.
Shock is blown into the air, but he lands on his feet unhurt. This is getting serious. Armored car number 1, advance! An armored car speeds up. Shock makes a mighty spring and lands on the car's top. He rips off the turret. Let's see who's in here. So, you want to play soldier, eh? That'll hold you for a while. Now, for those guns. That guy could whip an army.
Let's get out here. Oh, I guess it's the same guy, yeah.
Oh, just do it.
Let's get out of here.
Shock heaves up a howitzer and hurls it at another gun. The huge guns are wrecked. I'd better beat it. I'll grab a plane. Meanwhile, the shells have set the factory on fire. I can't let that factory burn. A fire engine speeds to the factory. But a spy opens fire on it. And it crashes off the road. Shock speeds to the wreck. He hoists up the fire engine. I'm the new fire chief, and runs with it. Look at the effects on his hands and feet right there.
Yeah. The only problem I have with this is the only problem I have with this really is that fire engine is a bit small, even for that day and age. It probably should be either time and a half bigger or 2 times bigger than what it is.
To the factory. Now for the fire. He attaches a hose. Always wanted to be a fireman. A spy tries to cut the hose, but Shock turns the nozzle on him. This will cool you off. A powerful blast of water to take out the guy. Shock rushes back to the fire. It's getting out of control. I need a lot more water. I have an idea. Shock yanks at one of its steel legs. Oh wait. Actually, nearby is a huge water tank. All right. Now, Shock yanks at one of its steel legs. This ought to do the trick. The water tank topples and falls, putting out the fire. Meanwhile, Ratsky sneaks into a plane. I'll steal this plane and takes off. I bet that's one of them escaping. I mustn't let him get away. Shock makes a terrific leap and lands on the plane. The plane flies out over the Pacific. Inside the plane. Well, I'm safe now. The plane's heavy. Why? There's a man on top. Ratsky crawls on top of the plane. I'll soon get rid of him. I shot him, but he's still alive. I'll push him off. He's got no chute. Ratsky rushes at Shock. But Shock steps nimbly aside, and Ratsky tumbles into space. Wow, quite a graphic scene, eh there, Rick?
Yeah, for sure.
His parachute opens. It's miles to shore. I've one chance in a million. Shock takes over the plane. It's curtains for him. At least I think so. Meanwhile, the rest of the spies are rounded up. You want to do that one right there? Rick? Did I lose Rick? Hey, Bex. Rick, you okay?
Yeah.
I was gonna let you do this, and then I didn't hear anything, and then I go over here and I look to your screen, and you're like down on the side like this. I'm going. You didn't pass out on me, did you?
I am falling asleep a little bit. I don't know why, but I am. But just as soon as you talk, usually, well, say my name, I'll probably respond.
I thought either your screen froze or something was wrong there.
No.
Apex. Hey, Apex. Shock Gibson. Yeah, that's what we're focusing on right now. Yeah. So, Rick, did you want to do this one right here?
Get in there, you hams.
Shock lands at a Hollywood airport.
Get his picture.
What a type. A producer rushes up.
Will you start my next picture? The salary.
I'm sorry, but I have important things to do. Follow the adventures of Shock Gibson in every issue of Speed Comics. All right. Yeah. Now, according to what I read, this is 22 pages. We went through that pretty quickly. You notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, about half an hour, we'll say, maybe a little bit less with all the
really
stuff.
That. All right. So, overall impressions, Rick.
Interesting. It seems typical type story for the time. You know, gangsters, thieves, obviously, but they're from a different country, trying to make money for. Well, they're not really trying to make money for the war. They're just trying to, you know, cripple the enemy. You know, by the production of planes. You know, because planes were going to be part of play a big part in the war. So you know, you cripple the enemy's plane production, you cripple the enemy.
Yeah. Well,
And,
you do know that we weren't in the war yet, even though we
yeah,
had comic book creators at the time trying to
yeah,
basically get us into the war. We talked about that before.
yeah. But obviously, that's what it is. Well, I'm not sure whether Canada. I don't think Canada was in the war yet either. I'm not sure when we got into the war. But obviously, they're doing some other war. You know, they're not saying exactly what, but you know, any
Well, it's kind
war.
of funny because but before America got in the war, right? I know this real well with Quality Comics. You know, some of the things some of these comic book companies would do. I know it mostly through Quality, but obviously here too. Um, Sometimes they might either, you know, they might either like indicate but not use a real country's name. They might either use like a made up country's name,
Yeah,
or they just won't allude to any particular country at all. They'll just, you know, be more generic about it. You know, um,
yeah.
uh, even though you kind of knew who and what they were,
Yeah,
who and what
especially
they
with
were.
the way that they did wrote them their dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could like comrade. First I saw that and I thought Russian immediately, right? I tried to
Well,
do a little bit of
Ratsky, right?
yeah.
Comrade Ratsky, yeah, yeah. You think,
I decided to try to Russian. I
even
don't
though
think I
the
pulled it
ironic
off.
thing in Russia, during World War II, Russia was actually our ally at that point. We hadn't even entered
Yeah,
the Cold War yet. They
yeah,
were.
but then I think Russia ended up on the side of Germany during World War II. I could be wrong.
No, no, no. Russia, and well, okay. Initially, Russia started off. I think. Well, actually, no. Russia ended up being a part of the Allied forces with us, us and England. Okay, you had the Allied powers, which were us, led by, of course, FDR, um, England, led by Winston Churchill, and Russia, led by Stalin. And then, the Axis powers were Germany, led by Hitler, um, Japan, uh, led by Mao Zedong. I can't. I think Mao. I think was, and then Mussolini in Italy. Um,
Um, well, I just looked it up. Soviet Union in World War II. After the Munich Agreement, the Soviet Union pursued a rapprochement with Nazi Germany on August 23rd, 1939. The Soviet Union signed a non-aggression pact with Germany, which included secret protocols that divided Eastern Germany, Eastern Europe into Germany and Soviet spheres. So it's more like they weren't on anybody's side
well,
because
initially they ended up because Germany started to encroach into Russian
yeah,
territories.
yeah. It says on the 22nd of June, 1941, Adolf launched an Operation Barbados and invasion of the Soviet Union with the largest invasion force in history, leading to some of the largest battles and horrific things. Blah blah blah.
Well, yeah, among the many other individuals he also hated communists too. Okay, so All right. Anyways, all right. So, I know that on the art side of it, of course, you commented that you thought the proportions of the fire engine were a little off too. I remember.
Well, with him carrying it, I'm not sure about when it's just down on the ground by itself. How tall is Shock supposed to be, anyways? Because I heard something about a giant or whatever, or I read something about the giant. So can he grow? Is that one of his powers?
I don't know. I don't know. I hadn't heard of that, but well, giant could just simply mean a big person. It doesn't necessarily. He may not be like, they may have thought he was a giant because he was bigger than them. If they're all like 5'6", 5'8", and he's 6'2", 6'3", let's say, yeah, to them he might look like a bit of a giant.
Yeah, well, 5 inches isn't really gonna. I don't think they'd say giant. 5 or 6 inches. But it probably doesn't say how big he's supposed to be anywhere.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see. I mean, you look back here and look at as he's in the scenes where he's with people.
Yeah, he doesn't look that much bigger. He looks about the
Right, he
same
looks
size.
like he's about the same size as them, more or less, give or take.
Yeah. So I'd say he's about the same size. So I don't get the whole giant thing that I read, but
It might be. Let's see. That was more back when.
see. Okay,
It was more back around here because when he was dealing with these guys. Now, that maybe he maybe, but probably. Well, he's on.
yeah, I didn't think he had growth powers, but it doesn't look like it. Never said anything about growth powers. But yeah, if you come down, I look at that fire engine. Um,
Oh, I actually went up too far because we're trying to go back to the fire engine. Well,
because
there's
you
the
look
fire
at
engine right there. There's it.
you look at those people in the fire engine. They're not that big, although they're you look at them and then look at them in conjunction to the fire engine there, and then look at him there. That's not even so bad. That one there, where he's initially picking up, although I think it's still a bit small. Um, but then this one, it really makes it look small to me.
Yeah. All right.
And
Well,
then,
anyways,
and then when you put it, then when they put it down in front of him there, or he's down beside it, go up just a bit, right there. Oh, just down. See him beside it.
mhm,
That's it's fairly big at that point.
yeah,
You compare him beside it there to the panel where he's carrying it.
yeah. It may have just been a perceptual thing. The way they drew the
Yeah,
perspective, probably.
yeah. That's my biggest thing in this. Story is that scene that the drawing of him carrying the fire engine for those couple panels.
All right. So here's your chance to be a human dynamo. Join the Shock Gibson Volunteers. Get a quote unquote live wire button. Look at that. Yeah, What's kind of funny? I don't know. It's one of you guys. I know. I don't think it was you, but one of you. I know one of you had said, "I wonder if we could send in to see if we could get that today."
Oh, yeah, Metal last week. I think he was saying about one of the ads,
Yeah.
but I think I've said that before too.
Yeah. So, anyways, so now we're gonna move on to the Ted Parrish feature here.
Ted Parrish. Hope he doesn't
Yeah.
perish.
Ted Parrish, The Man with 1,000 Faces by Rob Stanley. Ted is the mysterious movie star crime fighter working unknown. As Ted Parrish walks along a lonely street, a car full of hard-looking men draws alongside.
You're Ted Parrish, aren't you? Come along with us.
What is this?
You'll find out later. I think that's you on the ground, him on the ground.
Oh, what a shock!
Take it easy, Parrish. We're we're Secret Servicemen, see? Or was it? You see, we're Secret Servicemen.
Why didn't you say so? Inside the house,
Okay, you see, we have a special job to be done, and we need an accomplished actor. This is the sort of job in which the man with 1,000 faces could be used. So we set out to find him. We learned of a fantastic plot to kidnap the Secretary of State. We have planned a trap for the conspirators. We can capture the entire band if you cooperate. You can use this photograph as a motto. The kidnappers will try to force secret information from you. Stop until we can come. These movies will show you the mannerisms of the secretary. We suspect you are the man with 1,000 faces, but we won't ask you to tell. Good luck. You're on your own now.
that evening, Ted is seated in the secretary's study. Stealthily, two thugs creep up from behind.
You want
Come
me to
with
do it? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you go. I was just going to ask, but I heard that one guy.
Come with us quietly, and you won't get hurt. As Ted is pushed into the car, he slips a capsule of luminous metal over the door handle. Anybody following us, Slick? Nah, not a car in sight for miles. The count had it figured the snatchment of off the snatch went off without a hitch. High above the lonely road is a captive balloon. Two government men train a camera on the night scene.
Keep
I was
the
having
shutter.
you do.
Keep the shutter open. Keep the shutter open. Infrared film should pick up the radiant glow.
The car turns to an isolated farmhouse. We got him, Count. Good. Good, my government will pay you well. All I want from you, Mr. Secretary, are the details of the new military agreements. Never, not a word from me. It is as I expected. We shall have to force it from you. Ted is strapped to an instrument of torture. Looks like they're gonna rack him right there.
Yeah.
Him out like a big piece of taffy or something. You can save yourself much pain. No? Very well, I shall proceed. A little more pressure. I have plenty of time. At Secret Service headquarters.
This is a photo we took from the balloon. This white streak from the luminous handle traces the car's moves. Next, we compare it with a map.
Meanwhile, inch by inch, the giant cogs are drawn apart. Ted grits his teeth against the pain. You are harder than I thought. Come now. Won't you serve your country better alive than what? Did oh, you want to do that, guy?
Visitors, count, get them up.
The Count and his henchmen refuse to surrender. They barricade themselves. The Secret Service men force their way in. Ted is powerless to participate. Bullets whip by uncomfortably close. Yeah, imagine you're trapped. You're being stretched. You're trapped, and then you got bullets going all around you, like pretty close. That's got to be kind of a scary scenario, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it definitely could be a little unnerving.
Yeah, so let me just see. All right.
That was a good job, if I do say so myself. Bagged a lot of them.
Say, perhaps you can find time to get me free?
Oh, you were a grand help, and if you aren't the man with a thousand faces, you should be.
You won't want to miss the next thrilling Ted Parrish adventure. All right, Rick. So now that we're done with that story, that one went pretty quickly.
Yeah,
4 pages. Um, Overall impressions.
it was pretty good, although he didn't really star much in his own feature, did he? Didn't do a lot.
I've read some of his some of the stories before. He's kind of one of those master of disguise kind of like detective
Oh,
crime types.
yeah, I get that. I got that from the reading and all that at the beginning and all that. But what did he do in this thing? He got caught by the secret police by just walking down the street. They took him in. They told him all what was going to happen. You know, he went, stayed at a guy's desk, got captured, and then he's in the torture machine as the Secret Service come and rescue him. He didn't even lay a punch on anybody.
Well, because the sole purpose of him was to be in
Yeah,
disguise undercover.
yeah. But even in disguise, usually, these guys will throw off their disguise, or even in disguise, they will, fight back. It's just, it's funny that this guy in this whole adventure, and I know it's probably not the same in every one. He probably does do a lot more fighting in most of them. It was just funny that in this one, he doesn't seem to do a lot of fighting. He's just like, he's the helpless girl. Oh, can you rescue me?
Yeah.
And it's not that I have any problems with it. Like I said, it's something that I happen to notice.
Yeah, this particular story is a little different from our normal fanfare, right?
Yeah, which is good. Which it is something different that you're
I
not
mean
used to.
that's kind of the thing about it. I always try to mix and match things a bit more as much as possible. All right, so with that, now we'll head over to Champion Comics, only one issue 8. Go through those 3 stories, 6, 5, and 6 respectively, on the page counts there. So in grand total, it'll be like 43 pages between the 5 stories we have tonight.
Yeah,
And we've
still.
already basically hit the long one with Shock, because that one was 22 pages. All the other ones are like single digit page numbers. So
Yeah, we're still under an hour.
yeah.
Probably just over an hour with the next one after we get to it and all that.
Mm-hmm. And a reminder to everybody, of course, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions to the best of our ability. So here we go. Champion Comics right here. Of course, we'll be reading 3 stories out of that one. All right, so let's see. June number 8. Action, thrills, adventures, cash prizes in the contest. Duke O'Dowd, the champ, Neptina, Jungle Man. And the only reason I'm not doing the champ here is because apparently there's a page missing there at the very beginning. So that's one of the reasons why I chose not to do this one. Queer Championships.
And in this case, I think that means weird. Not,
weird or strange or odd. Not what it typically means today.
Not be a very nice fellow.
The greatest jockey in history, Fred Archer, rode 2,775 winners out of 8,082 mounts. England, 1870 to 1886. Chini, a chimpanzee in the London Zoo, recently accomplished one of the most unusual feats ever performed by an animal: the threading of a needle. "46 inches of rain fell in 24 hours in Baguio, Philippines. an all-time record, July 14th, 1911. Wow, look at that. 46 inches of rain in 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you'd be swimming in that. You'd be swimming
yeah,
in that.
that's just under 4 feet. Now, would have it all would have any of it got washed away? Did it all accumulate so it would be up to almost 4 feet if you were standing out in it? It's hard to say.
Pizarro. Pizarro conquered the country of Peru in less than half an hour with but 177 men. Sheldon Lejeune threw a baseball 426 feet 9.5 inches.
Ooh, that's pretty far.
All right. Neptina, Queen of the Deep, by Bentley Wade. Lieutenant Brad Fletcher, U.S. Navy, has been put in charge of a specially built submarine with which to combat the forces of Queen Neptina. He sets out for Amloza, the undersea capital, and is challenged by a fleet of Neptina's ships. At Amloza, Mog, the fishman scientist, is working feverishly upon a plan to prevent warfare between the land and the sea. On board the Norma, Brad's new super submarine. Want to do the first guy there?
Okay, we are almost to the point indicated on the chart.
It will be a spot to start from the undersea city, maybe anywhere within a radius of 100 miles. Lieutenant, the pulsometer registers foreign vibrations of increasing volume from the general forward direction. You want to do that guy right there?
Okay, I was just thinking it might have been the guy in the top panel above the guy that you did, but okay, right. The needle flutters over an arc of several degrees. Might be a number of undersea craft approaching.
The strange vibrations continue becoming stronger and stronger. Brad orders his engine stopped and his ship lowered to the ocean floor, where he lies in wait. All lights out, Brad waits and watches. Meanwhile, in the laboratory of Mog, the scientist, there is great activity. The queen has left her palace and is coming here. Quick, cover up the machine lest Neptina suspect. The new machine is barely hidden when Neptina enters the workshop. What are you up to, Mog? I've heard of a new device of your making. 'Tis but gossip, O Queen. This contrivance is new, and an ill attempt has been made to conceal it, Mog. I trust you no more. Guards! Neptuna's guards rush in and overpower Mog and his helpers. Your Majesty must be mad. I warn you that to break with Mog, the scientist, is to break with your throne. You would threaten your queen? Perhaps a dose of the pits would blunt your sharp tongue. Mog is led away to prison to await Neptuna's pleasure. Oh boy, isn't that an exciting statement?
Yeah.
In a remote part of the city, Mursa, revolutionary-minded half-sister of Neptuna, and a little band of refugees discuss the latest development. There is a report that our whole battle fleet has been dispatched to engage some strange craft sent here by the land folk. It must be Brad. He has returned. Neptuna's ships attack. It will mean unnecessary bloodshed. I must warn him. Gak departs. Pray that I arrive in time. This singleton is swifter than a battlecraft, and there is a chance. At the city gates, Gak's ship is stopped by the suspicious guards.
Nobody leaves the city without a pass signed by the Queen herself.
Well, I have a pass, see? It bears the Queen's signature. As the guard reaches for the supposed pass, Gak sends his sleek craft flashing through the gateway. Gak escapes. The gunners on the gate send a few vibro shells after him. Meanwhile, on board Brad's submarine, the landmen are listening for the approaching fishman fleet. Suddenly, a new vibration is noted, a sharp, rapid rhythm that gets stronger and stronger. Brad scans.
Strange vibrations.
Brad scans the water ahead through an infrared beamoscope.
Object approaching at great speed. Looks like a singleton subship. May be a messenger, but start the repeller ray.
The repeller ray envelops the ship. Hurtling through the water at great speed, Gak's tiny craft is suddenly halted by an invisible force. We've caught a fellow. Now contact the race. Now contact the ray slowly and bring the singleton alongside so we can see what's what.
Aye, sir.
Slowly, Gak's little ship is drawn to the side of the huge motionless sub. It's Gak. Good old Gak. Quick, break out a diving suit and helmet. I'm going out there. If I only had some of Mog's pressure resistant salve, now I wouldn't need this blamed suit, and one of his transparent helmets would be better than this one. Brad leaves the ship. Two friends meet. But here a tragic difficulty presents itself. Brad and Gak are unable to communicate with each other. Brad, unable to breathe in water without a thought transmitter helmet, can't make himself understood, and Gak cannot get a message to Brad. Suddenly, a warning signal flashes from the sub. Brad motions for Gak to depart and dives for the entrance chamber. Just in time, Neptuna's battle fleet is sighted. Gak darts away. Brad waits until the oncoming ships are almost within ray gun range. Then he gives the order to throw the water opaquer into action. Immediately, a black cloud fans out before the submarine spreads rapidly in all directions. Brad orders a bit of strategy. Turn ship to right angle. Left of present course. Then full speed ahead. Shut off opaquer. Swimming in a wide arc, Brad maneuvers his craft well in the rear of the enemy. Baffled by the sinister wall of blackness, Neptuna's ships mill about uncertainly. The mighty walls and arched dome of Amloza loom in the distance. With the repeller ray on full, Brad speeds his super sub at the closed gates as Neptuna's guns belch harmless rays and projectiles in his direction. You're still with me, right, Rick?
Yeah.
Any comments? I know there's been a lot of narration here, so any comments on this thus far?
Not really. It's the underwater ships are unique. They seem to be a little bit designed like planes. That's what all I can. I've noticed, which is a little unusual, I'd say, for subs even of that decade, that timing.
All right, and I shall continue on now. Crash! The great gates shatter at the impact. Brad's craft enters the city. Capture that audacious foreign sub, cries Neptuna, as Brad sets his sub down in the courtyard of the palace. Next month, Brad again faces Neptuna. Wow, kind of a way to come to an end of a story, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so Rick, overall impressions. I know you didn't get to really do as much there. A lot of narration, particularly towards the end there.
It seemed fine, decent enough for. I don't think there was too many. I can't think of anything that was too plot hole-ish or whatever. Too much to talk about. Maybe with all the narration, it did make it a little slow, for lack of a better way of saying it. Pace could have possibly been better. But then again, maybe it's because I just don't know enough about this particular one too. It's just uh, for what it's named after, you didn't get much of her in it. Sort of like the last one, you didn't get a lot of the main character in it. You know,
Well, I think this is actually the first time I've actually decided to read this story, so I didn't even do background information on it. I just decided to pick it this time because, of course, it was, featured, a woman as a lead character, so I didn't want to
yeah.
get, you know.
It's there's nothing wrong with checking out a new thing in a magazine one of these magazines every so often. Yeah, sure, maybe we don't know what's going on exactly, but it depends. Each one, sometimes it's a good jumping on point, sometimes it's not. Like it's just it is what it is a lot of times for this stuff. I guess is all I can say.
All right. All right. So I guess we'll get ready to move on to next feature, then Liberty Lads.
Liberty Lads, not lad. I just laugh about
I know, Rick.
what.
Liberty Lads. I think I did say that, but
Or if it's lads and not lad, or if it is lad. The only reason that makes me laugh, I played a game called Freedom Force, and there was a guy called Minuteman, and he had a sidekick called Liberty Lad.
actually, there is in Fawcett. There actually is a hero named Minuteman.
Yeah.
There's a Texture, Jungleman. Here we go. Liberty Lads. One night in the spring of '75, Tom Fenwick and Will Meredith, two courageous young colonials, are trudging towards the home of Will's uncle near Concord, Massachusetts. When they discover signs of a bloody skirmish at the crossroads. I think the rats are really, really acting up right now.
Nah, I can't hear them.
Yeah, I could a little bit. So, considering the story and stuff, when they say spring of '75, which '75 do you think it is that they're talking about?
Somehow I either be thinking it's either 1875 or 1775.
It's probably most likely 1775 because they're talking about colonials, right?
Yeah, because you guys got founded in 76, right?
Well,
1770s.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. You want to do the guy in the blue shirt there? I'll do the guy the blonde.
Okay. Oh, the bloodstains lead this way.
The fight must have happened a short while ago. A man wounded. Are you a friend or foe?
Sir, we are patriot. We are patriots, sir. Can we help you?
The wounded Minuteman is failing fast. I'm dying. I was shot while escaping from the British and left for dead. If you want to help your country, listen carefully.
Whatever you say, sir.
In my pocket is a key to a secret barn where arms and munitions are hidden. Location is scratched on the key in code. You must take the key at once to Captain Cummings in Lexington. Will hides the key as the Patriot dies. Go swiftly, lads. The fate of the nation depends on you.
We won't fail you, sir.
Just let someone try. The lads seek lodging at a country inn.
Open up there, innkeeper.
I could sleep on a bed of thorns. I'm that tired, Tom. I give no lodging to loudmouth you young runaways. Leave before I set a stick to you. We have money to pay for our lodging. He he. I was joking. Here is a fine room.
Oh, we'll take it.
Call us at daylight. We're on an important mission. The innkeeper, a Tory spy, suspicious of the boys. The traitorous Tory spies on them. There is something sly going on here. Those two boys aren't traveling at this late hour for no reason at all. I wonder.
No, I don't like the looks of that landlord. He may be a Tory spy.
We must get this key through to Lexington. We'll take turns staying awake. The spy prepares to end the lad's mission. So that's it. Staying awake will do you no good. Now, my bully lads, up with your hands, young colonial dogs.
How dare you?
Get out of our room, landlord. Defiantly, young Tom leaps at the innkeeper, but is knocked down by a brutal clout. Stay at a distance, you little idiot, ere I knock out what few brains ye have.
Someday I'll repay you for that.
Go slowly, Tom. There is not much we can do while he is armed. Quickly, give me that key, or I'll send a shot into your skull. I know nothing of any key. A young colonial, Paul Revere, tears through the countryside, warning the patriots of an enemy advance. You want to do Paul Revere there?
To arms! The British are coming! The British are coming!
What? Some fool has learned of the British plans. I must stop him. I'll shoot the dog down. While the innkeeper is busy at the window planning the murder of Paul Revere. Wait, that's you.
Paul Revere must finish his ride, or the British will wipe us out with a surprise attack. I hope my aim is true.
Oh! Sneaking out the rear of the inn, the lads borrow 2 horses.
Whoever owns these horses won't mind when they find out the good purpose we used them for. They were used for.
The boys ride swiftly through the dark night toward their goal.
think the first one is you.
Oh, good boy, go.
We're lucky to get these fine mounts. Just
About
because
10
the
miles.
first, second one seemed to have a little bit more blue.
What was that?
I just thought the second one had more blue in them than.
Hmm. Yeah, anyways. About 10 miles 10 miles from the inn, Tom and Will are stopped by a group of the king's men. Halt! In the name of the king! Let us pass. We are riding to our grandmother's home. She is ill.
What was that? Okay, I think you're saying you want me to read this first one.
I'm just trying to figure out which is which. Oh, okay. Yeah, read the first guy there.
Okay, that's a likely story. What is a likely story? You look like a pair of young spies to me. You look like the pair the innkeeper back yonder Flynn stole his horses. Aye, you can't prove that.
Let go of my chum, you bullies. On a nearby hillock, the tall figure of an Indian surveys the scene on the road. Indians!
Oh, that must be Wongo.
I think it's pronounced Wanako.
Wanaco? Okay. That must be Wanaco.
Wanako the brave. The Indian changes his position, sends another arrow into the group from another direction. Another arrow!
We must be surrounded. Men, make a break for it, men. It is Wanaco. What are you doing up here? We're doing way up here.
The Great Spirit tells Wanako when white brother in danger. Soldier's gone now. You couldn't have picked a better time to show up.
Thanks again, Wanaco. We're on an important mission. We'll have to leave you here. Leave you now.
You are a true friend. May the Great Spirit always guide and protect you. Finally, the boys gallop to the outskirts of Lexington, where they sight a group of Minutemen.
Where can we find the Captain Cummings? Tis his urgent military business.
Who are you? What do you want to see the captain about?
I must get this key to him right away.
He has been waiting for that. Come with me, hurry. In the secret quarters of the Minutemen. Captain Cummings, these lads have brought you the key to the secret arms cache.
No. We came close to not making it, Captain.
Tom and Will help distribute the extra arms. The Minutemen who are putting the British forces to a hasty retreat. Thanks. We owe a lot to you lads.
Oh, we're happy to be taking active part in aiding our country.
It is the least we can do. Thanks, boys. You're a credit to our country. I'm going over there, Tom. A man is calling for water. The group the boys are working with are cornered by a platoon of redcoats. Tom and Will are forced to pick up guns.
There they go, Will. I thought for a few minutes we were goners.
It's a good thing they didn't know these were just us two left here. All that saved the British from a complete rout today. What was the arrival of Lord Percy with reinforcements? But we won an important victory. A large share of the credit goes to you lads.
Oh, I'm glad I got here on time with that key, Captain.
We only did what any American boy would do. The Liberty lads, with their quick thinking and daring action, have saved themselves and the liberty of their country. More adventures next month as the Liberty lads help again their country in its fight for freedom. All right, so I guess that's the end of that. So, overall impressions, Rick?
Pretty good, actually. I liked it. Seemed to flow well. They come across, the obstacles that they did, and it seemed somewhat believable on how they got out of each and every one of the obstacles.
And I think we're making good time on the readings too, because we're just now coming up on hour and a half. I usually slate these shows for about 2 hours, right around 2 hour mark. So, we're gonna probably be getting to these pretty quickly here.
Yeah, this is the fourth story. You've only got one more planned out, right?
Yeah, and then of course there's this day in each history and all that. Even after the last story, though, there's still gonna be one more little tidbit to do. In terms of questioning about the stories, but
yeah.
But anyways, let's get to that last story. Let's see if we can find it here sooner or later. Here, actually, there's. Oh, plus we did even read a sidebar too. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
The Adventures of Lobo. The Sabotage in Fort Collins.
I'm gonna be right back. I gotta make a stop at the facilities.
What was that?
I will be right back. I gotta go to the facilities.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'll be reading more. Well, actually, I'll just wait for him to come back before we get into reading this. So hopefully everybody's enjoying the show thus far. We're getting to these stories pretty quickly. So I hope that. Let me see here. Even now I have to. Well, I'm still good. Wrong thing there, Mike. Let's see. Trying to remember. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Anyways. So hopefully everybody's enjoying the show. These are some pretty interesting stories, wouldn't you say, folks? Yeah, the Liberty Lads remind me a little bit of the old PBS animated series Liberty's Kids. A show where they featured, younger patriotic heroes there. Searching for a hero to idolize. When innocence died to my own eyes. Hey, Rick.
Hey.
I figured I'd wait till you get back before I continued reading there.
Uh-huh.
So you want me to run up to the plant and take a look around to locate the source and cause of these blasts? Very well, gentlemen. I'll hop off pronto. I will mail you my report when the case is closed. I'm sorry. Maybe we should have. Hold on. Okay. Three mysterious explosions, too dangerously close to the Western Arms Company plant. Uh, Western Arms Company's plant. We have insured that plant to the limit. Want to do this, the middle one there?
I took sabotage. If that plant is blown up, we will be bankrupt.
So you want me to run up to the plant and take a look around to locate the source and cause of these blasts? Very well, gentlemen. I'll hop off pronto. I will mail you my report when the case is closed. There you got the map right there. Wasting little time, Lobo hops off and points his speedy one-seater north from Denver toward the home of the Western Arms Company, manufacturers of munitions in Fort Collins. Arriving at a lively little airport, not far from La Poste, Lobo eases his ship into a glide and lands. Want to do the kid right there?
Gee, a whole quarter.
Hey, cabby, let's kick up dust to police headquarters over in Fort Collins. Logo boys, hold 4-hour model meet. Lobo arrives in Fort Collins. That gas model meet ought to prove very interesting. At headquarters, Lobo discusses the case with the chief of police and members of his staff. Undo the bald guy right there.
Okay. And this is the location of the last explosion.
Those blasts were well planned, that's certain, all in a straight line, each one just a little closer to the western plant. Holy smoke! Almost 10:30. Boys, I've got to push on. I'm figuring on taking in the gas model meet that's being held this morning. I'll be seeing you later in the day. This turn of affairs does not meet with the approval of the boys at headquarters. At any rate, Lobo bids them adios for the present, leaving the plainclothes men to grumble it out for themselves. Looks like the insurance people put their dough on the wrong bronc peeler on the wrong bronc peeler this time. How's he gonna solve this case by traipsing off to that kid party?
Yeah, it'll be the cops that solve this case, all right.
You wise guys go ahead and think what you please. I've heard plenty about the ways of Lobo. If he wants to see this model airplane tournament, then I'm thinking it's got something to do with this case. If anybody wants me, I can be found at the model meet. I like kid parties too. Of course, I'm guessing that has a totally different meaning than what people might think it does today. Arriving at Fox Meadows, Lobo finds the meet very active. Think I'll just browse around and watch the lads get their ships entered. Well, hello there, Wilson. You decide to play hooky from work too? Look down at the meat. Tisk, poor kid. I do the.
Sorry, son. It's a bit too heavy to meet the qualifications.
That's a trim little ship you got there. Too bad about it being disqualified. Build it yourself? You want to do the kid?
Yeah. Well, oh, her? Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I built every inch of her except the motor.
That's a large fuel tank, isn't it?
Oh, sure. But this is a new type of motor, a twin cylinder job. I'll show you how she sounds.
At this time, the boys in the first flight are sending their gas models off to the north while several judges time the flight of each ship. Suddenly, the youth flips a small lever protective of the ship's fuselage. Hang on, lad. It's getting away. In a flash, Lobo whips out a small pocket compass. It's heading northwest. Well, here goes, Wilson. Throw a hobble on this young maverick. And without further ado, Lobo levels his gun and fires one shot at the fast little model plane. Seems like something was up, doesn't it, Rick?
Yeah.
Shooting away its motor, the plane falls in wide circles towards the earth, tail first. Gotta get that ship before it hits the ground. Easy does it. Just as I thought. This thing is ticking away like a cheap watch. Why do you what do you think he suspects, Rick?
A bomb of some sort?
Possibly, right?
What's ticking away?
It stopped ticking. Whew, that's a relief. Now, a couple of loops of this handkerchief. Oh, here comes Officer Wilson. And be very careful that no one touches this plane until I get back. Is that clear? Okay, take the kid and the ship on back to headquarters. I'll see you later. Lobo rushes to the observing plane used for following and locating the positions of lost gas models. Jumping in the forward cockpit, Lobo instructs the pilot. Come on, partner. Get this thing in the air. Pronto. This is police business. Let's head northeast or northwest. As the ship takes to the air, Lobo slips into a harness of the parachute, which he has found in the cockpit. Quarter mile from the scene of the gas model meet, Lobo finds himself directly above the Western Arms plant. Heading on, they start searching the area below. There, the plane. In a moment or so, Lobo signals the pilot, who nods that he too has sighted their quarry. They zoom for altitude. During an outside loop, Lobo bails out. Can't take a chance on getting tangled in the chute when I land. Lobo. Were you laughing there, Rick? Was there something?
No, I don't think so. Or it was not, might have been laughing at something like Pangle Up or whatever. I'm not sure. I got my cousin coughed too.
Huh. Lobo quickly slips the shrouds under his left arm, and then, using his pocket knife, Lobo cuts away the chute's harness. Bang! Bang! Nearing the ground, Lobo drains the gun, fires twice, and then releases the parachute shrouds. But before he can really swing into action, one of the four men rushes Lobo from behind. Lobo is not caught off guard. A little jujitsu does the job. Nice try, fella. Now here it comes, just like you asked for. Here's one for you too, Duke. Let's see you duck this one. By this time, a police car arrives. What's good enough for the Duke is okie dokie for you too. Howdy, boys. You turned up too late to this kid party. It's just about over. The pilot of that observation plane called us from the Laporte Airport. Want to do the bottom right there?
Okay. Gosh, this boy didn't need no help. Look, four of them, all laid out, nice and quiet.
A time control unit in the fuselage released the bombs at the predetermined time. At a predetermined time, if we hadn't intervened when we did, this contraption would have destroyed the Western Arms plant. The control lever, bomb back released. So basically, the kid was serving up a little mini bomber there, it looks like.
Yeah. What a way
This,
to get the bombs there, use a kid that you get on your side somehow, and, you know, nobody thinks twice about the kid, right?
right.
Playing his plane.
Yeah. This type of bomb, when exploded, burns with an intense white flame, constantly throwing off molten metal. The heat will ignite anything inflammable within 5 to 8 feet. Highly incendiary charge of magnesium and iron in dust from all this stuff here. I figured that since two and two are still four, there must be some connection. All three of those previous explosions took place on Saturdays too. This was this was the fourth in a series of gas model meets to be held on Saturday. I guess it was a hunch, but as it turned out, this group of stooges um, were having a little sabotage party, and they duped that poor kid into flying those specially built models in the meet. He didn't know the model planes carried bombs. He just followed their orders. The first three blasts were light charges of nitro. They were experimenting in order to get the time control adjusted right. Then those hoodlums were waiting to pick up the models when it ran out of gas. Huh? An excellent job, son. You certainly do live up to your name. Yes, sir, Lobo, the lone wolf. Well, adios, Chief. I've got to mail my report on this case to Denver. Then I'm hopping off from home once more. The end. All right. So, overall impressions of that story, Rick?
Oh, pretty good. I liked it. Well, actually, I think the last two are probably the best two.
Well,
Um,
hold that thought for just a moment, because now that we have done all 5 stories, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Okay.
yeah.
So of the 5 features, which one would you say was the one you liked the most, and your reasoning for your choice?
It's gonna seem weird, maybe coming from me especially. But I'm gonna say the fourth one, Liberty Lads.
Liberty Lads? And your reasoning for Liberty Lads being the one you like the most?
Um, Not sure whether to put an exact finger on it. But probably, I guess just for me, something different. A little different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the superhero one. It was not bad. It was probably my third favorite of the evening.
Well, hold on. Just focus on the one that you like the
Yeah,
most.
yeah, but I'm putting my thoughts all out there. I know the next question you're gonna ask, and I know. So,
well, if you have an idea, there's a natural. Obviously, if I asked you, okay,
yeah,
which one you like the most,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Now the
and
next
it's
one, I'm sure you know what that's going to be. Which
yeah,
story do you like the least, and your reason?
the last time I was on, you did the same thing, and you've been doing that, I think, to anybody that's come on the last few times.
Yeah,
I've been doing.
I've been doing. That's been a regular. That's one of the one of the newer, I guess, additions that I've chosen to ask, again, to further spark conversation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
So, but yeah, I guess just didn't it be something a little different? Like I guess it's the sidekicks, in a sense, the sidekicks, if you will. We get kids' stories, but I think of all the kids' stories so far, this has been one of the better. This isn't just pure comedy like a lot of the young ones that we get have been.
oh, you still talking about Liberty Lads?
Yeah,
The one you like the most? Okay.
yeah. Because a lot of times when we get a kid one, it's something comical. I guess there's been, or somewhat serious, somewhat comical, or if there's a kid in it, they've been um, not a serious position where these, are, So it's just something, I guess, different for this day and age where the kids are a little bit more not sidekickish, not a comedy feature, or the the thing to make it be the comic relief, if you will, in the thing.
Or just as a general way of lightening up the mood, having younger, more naive characters involved than you would if they were all adults, right?
Yeah, and not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, I guess this is a nice, unusual take
Mm-hmm.
to do especially for the time.
All right. Anything more you want to add to that before I re-ask the next question?
Yeah, nothing I can think of at this time.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask the opposite end question there. Which of the of the four remaining stories, as it were,
Yeah.
which one did you like the least, and your reasoning for it?
Well, I sort of said something about it after it was there, and that would probably be, I think, the second one. It was just the pacing, Yeah, the pacing, and all that of it. I don't think the pacing was all that well. Um, where I think all the other ones had at least have decent pacing. I think that was one that had the worst pacing of them all. And trying to remember them all equally as well, especially with me falling a little bit asleep during some of them a little bit more than others.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all relatively decent stories, for the most part.
Yeah.
But
and when you say they were a nice mix of stories too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, I think I liked Liberty Lads the most of the lot as well, just because of just the general feel of it. Actually, reminded me, and I don't know if you would have had this up in Canada, but there's a show that PBS showed down here called Liberty's Kids, which basically followed a couple of kids who were like 2 or 3 kids who were kind of apprentices of Benjamin Franklin during the colonial times and the times of the Independence War. So you got to.
No, I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything more you want to add to what you were saying before we start to wrap?
Nothing I can think of at this time.
All right. So with that now, of course, now it is 6 minutes to go here, so we're going to start to wrap up here. So what we're going to do now, of course, is today is Sunday, November 24th, 2024. So we're going to take
do this weekend in Mikestand.
That is correct. We're going to take a look back at this weekend in Nietzsche history. And first off, we're going to go back to yesterday. 30 years ago yesterday, back in 1994, 30 years ago yesterday, the WWF at the time held its Survivor Series from the Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio, Texas. Let's see now. We'll look at the results here in a moment. The main event, of course, saw The Undertaker defeat Yokozuna in a casket match with Chuck Norris as a special guest referee. And you had a couple of traditional Survivor Series matches. The first one earlier in the night saw the Bad Guys, led by Razor Ramon, with a team of 1-2-3 Kid, British Bulldog, and the Head Shrinkers of Fatu and Sion, defeating the Teamsters of Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Owen Hart, Jim Neidhart, and Jeff Jarrett. You also saw in another, another possible Survivor Series match. You saw the royal family of Jerry Lawler and his three royal midgets of Sleazy, Queasy, and Cheesy defeat Clowns R.S. of Doink the Clown, Dink, Pink, and Wink. And then in the other Survivor Series match, you had the $1 Million team of King Kong Bundy, Tatanka, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the team known as the Heavenly Bodies of Jimmy Del Rey and Tom Pritchard, defeating the team of Guts and Glory, led by, of course, Lex Luger, who had Mabel, Atom Bomb, Bill, and the Smoking Guns. And you also had the WWF Championship up for grabs as Bob Backlund defeated Bret Hart in a submission match to become the new WWE champion. So there we go with that. So now moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history. As soon as I can, let me just do a quick here. 2019. Okay, yeah. All right. So on 5 years ago today, on this date, 5 years ago today, back in 2019, in what would be her last role, last appearance prior to her passing on July 26, 2019, Russi Taylor voiced Martin Prince for the last time in the Simpsons episode Thanksgiving of Horror, guest starring Black Mirror creator Charlie Booker. So the Simpsons on this date back 5 years ago today, Simpsons episode Thanksgiving of Horror premieres, guest starring Black Mirror creator Charlie Booker. It also was the last episode featuring Russi Taylor as Martin Prince, recorded before her death on July 26th, although Grey DeLisle already took over the character a few episodes prior to Thanksgiving of Horror, being a leftover episode from the previous season. So that happened 5 years ago today. Russi Taylor, of course, is known. She was the wife of Wayne Allwine and also was a longtime voice of Minnie Mouse among many of the characters she's done over the years. Longtime voice actress. Wayne Allwine was the longtime voice of Mickey Mouse. Just in case you didn't know.
I did not.
What was that?
I said I did not.
All right. And finally, 3 years ago today, on this date, 3 years ago today, back in 2021. On this date, back in 2021. The 10th issue of Radiant Black from Image went on sale on this date back in 2021. Sold for $3.99, 28 pages. The 10th issue of Radiant Black from Image Comics went on sale on this date back in 2021. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here. So before of course we head out, Rick, I want to give you a chance to do an outro if you'd like. Promote anything you're doing this week, share any links. I think you get the shtick, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to share a link to the latest Silhouette game show, which was last Thursday. It was live action vehicles, or live action ground vehicles. I actually got to go correct that title, make people know, but I say enough from the thing. But and this week we're going to have TV shows that have had Thanksgiving specials.
What was that? TV shows that what?
Have had Thanksgiving specials.
Okay.
So I'm probably gonna have to be doing a lot of cutting out of 2 or 3 characters in a scene to see whether people can guess. The TV show. They're not gonna necessarily have to guess the characters, but
Yeah.
And then so that should be an interesting one, because I was trying to figure out how to do Thanksgiving because there's not a lot of Thanksgiving special shows out there. That are just one-offs or whatever. So.
Right. All right. So with that being said, then everybody, I thank everybody for being here. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Of course, just to repeat the special note I mentioned earlier. This week we're only doing shows up through Wednesday. We're taking Thursday and Friday off this week. But if for those of you who may have MeTV Tunes, this Thursday and Friday they're having a couple of very interesting marathons. On Thursday, they're having the marathon they call Rabbit, and these marathons are starting at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, and ending at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. On Thursday, it's going to be rabbits, ducks, and no turkey. It's going to be a day-long marathon of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck cartoons from Warner Brothers. And on Friday, it's going to be Black and White Friday in honor of Black Friday, which they're going to show mostly a lot of the 1930s and early 40s black and white cartoons, including like Popeye, same time frame of 8 Eastern, 5 a.m. Pacific to 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. And as I said, this Friday will be a lot of it'll be like a lot of like pop, the Fleischer cartoons featuring Popeye and Betty Boop, featuring some of the older Leon Schlesinger studio, the black and white Warner Brothers stuff, including some Daffy, of course, as well as some Porky Pig, among others. So with all that being said, well, Rick, since you did that, you wanna close us out there?
Okay. That's all, folks.
And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.
Remember, it's a day away.